Welcome everyone to the Sports GI Network, and today in this video, I am talking about the lightweight division because there's a lot of drama, a lot of well, yeah, I guess I'm trying to think. Is drama the right word? Yeah, it's a mess of a situation right now in the lightweight division, as we got guys not wanting to fight each other, and then we're trying to figure out who's fighting who's next for Ilia. As obviously it is over a month ago, Ilia Topuria knocked out Charles Oliveira to win the lightweight title, as he's the lightweight champion. Now we're trying to figure out who's next for Ilia, and there's contenders look who need fights and who want fights, but it's like they don't want to fight each other. So I'm gonna try to explain all that and give why I think should be the solution. So don't forget to hit the like button and share button and subscribe to the channel, and we'll go from here. Didn't do a UFC review for Abu Dhabi, my bad, but a lot of things happened. I couldn't do it, because but I wanted to do a UFC video for you guys because obviously I haven't done one in a while. And let me just talk about the Abu Dhabi card just briefly. Good card. I thought Roddy R deserved to win that fight. I thought it was the right decision. Uses clinch work. There wasn't clinch and grappling against Whitaker. Even though Whitaker did have his moments to look good in that fight, Whitaker's not washed. Anyone says that, that's ridiculous. Jan looked good. Did a good job in his fight. And I'm trying. I'm blanking the rest of the card. Well, anyway, this is about the lightweight division. Let me move on. Lightweight division. Anyway, oh yeah, also I'm picking Tyra to beat Park this weekend, the main event, because Tyra's high level and it's not enough time for Park to train against Tyra. But anyway, let me focus on the situation. So Ilia Topuria was on the Note Boys, or yeah, the Note Boys went to Spain. They were talking about Arman Tsarukyan. Ilia basically said he's not interested in fighting Arman Tsarukyan. I'm just pulling up these quotes here from the articles so you guys can read. I'm pretty sure you can look them up yourself. This is for MMA Junkie, where Ilya basically said, "Listen, you put so much effort into the game. You have a guy in front who. Hang on. Sorry. Let me get some water real quick. You have a guy in front who you don't know that maybe could pull from the fight. That's not something good for us. Ilya, the warrior tells the boys, it's not on my back, bro. I don't fucking care. He's basically talking about Armin pulled out UFC 311. Yeah, 311 the day before the event. He was supposed to fight for the lightweight title against Islam Makhachev. So yeah, that was situation, and then it turns out that he missed weight, according to Dana White, and that's why he pulled out, or that's why he pulled out because he missed weight. And the UFC, the way it handled it was kind of weird because why not just say he missed weight? I don't know why the UFC was so quiet until International Fight Week, where Dana White finally said what happened with Ilya. I mean, not Ilya, but Armin. I was That was odd. Why not just say it? But anyway, that happens, and Ilya basically says that he's willing to give up the belt and fight Arman Tsarukyan. So Ilya doesn't want to fight Arman Tsarukyan, as you see the quote here. Basically, they're going to give him. Well, again, he says basically the full quote. You can read it up here. They're going to give him a fight before. They're going to give him a fight before a title shot because there's no way I'm the world champ. I'm not going to give this guy a chance to fight for the title. I'd be like, listen, if that's the case, take my belt. I don't do it. Then Armin responded by saying, "Man, you're calling yourself a champion, but you're already looking for a way out. You can vacate or I'll take it. Either way, it's mine." Now, this quote got a lot, Ilia Topuria, a lot of pushback from some fans because people are calling him a duck, basically. He's pulling a John Jones, they say, that he's ducking Arman Tsarukyan. You have others. There are those out there defending Ilya's quote about the whole Armin situation, saying that, oh, Armin hasn't fought in over a year. He pulled out. Why should Armin get a title fight when he hasn't won a fight and prove he can make weight? Although Ilya did not, Armin Tsarukyan did make weight for. He was a backup fighter for Ilia and Charles Oliveira back in UFC 317. He was the backup fighter, and he actually made weight. And then what he says is a step in the right direction. So Armin was able to make weight and actually prove he could make championship weight. And so that kind of resolves that issue of, oh, well, Armin he's a proof he can make weight. Well, he just did. He proved he can do it. And if he proved he can do it, then and he's number one contender, then it's kind of hard to argue against Arman getting the next title fight against Ilia Topuria. I don't like this at all because I get Ilia. Yeah, you don't want to, train for somebody. Then the last minute they pull out. Then you got to fight a whole different style because you spend all this time getting ready for somebody, and then throws you off, and it can mess you up, and then that person can beat you because you didn't train for them. So I kind of get Ilia's point there, but at the same time, it's like if if um if Arman has proven he can make weight and just made weight on the same card you fought in, and he's number one contender, it's like you might as well fight him. Like I don't like Elias saying that. Like I get his point, but at the same time, it's like, bro, just like he proved he made weight, he can make weight. Just fight him. That's all you need to do. Fight him. And that's the fight I want to see if Ilya fight next because I think that's the tough. First of all, I think that's the toughest fight for Ilia Topuria because I think if he fights Gaethje or Paddy Pimblett, he beats them easily, way easy. And by the way, Paddy Pimblett does not deserve a title fight. And I'll talk about that later. But yeah, I didn't like that quote from Ilya. Like I sympathize with him a little bit, but at the same time, like he did make weight and and it's like he made weight, so it's like you can't say, "Well, he's gonna miss weight and pull outs." But now I'm thinking about it, I can see Ilya's thing. Well, I want to see him make weight and fight someone else first, and then get a title fight. And then, well, that's what other people are saying that Arman should win a fight, make weight, win a fight, then get a guaranteed title fight, which I kind of get because he hasn't fought in a while, and we gotta see him be able to make weight and fight and win. I kind of get it. And one thing about Arman that did bother me is that he was given Mateusz Gamrot as an opponent, and he's turned that down. And that bothered me because for those of you who don't know, Arman Tsarukyan lost to Mateusz Gamrot back in 2022. Even though he got robbed, he should have won the fight. Judges got that fight completely wrong. And it was an entertaining fight. One of the most entertaining fights I've seen. A lot of grappling, too. A lot of grappling. But yeah, it was like high level grappling. The scrambles and reversals were insane. I mean, that was an excellent fight. And everyone who saw it knows what I'm talking about, how great it is. And I wanted to see the rematch, but Arman said no, which that bothered me. It's like, bro, this guy has a victory over you. You know, it's bullshit. To me, he would beat Gamrot in a rematch. Arman, I think he would, especially since Gamrot's a little older. Arman's still 27, so that's something to keep in mind. I think he would beat Gamrot in the rematch. And I thought, dude, you should try to get that one back and prove that first fight was a fluke and go out there and beat him. And Arman said no to Gamrot that he wants a title fight, which I get Arman. Hey, he's in position to fight for the title, but at the same time, it's like the UFC is not exactly you're not in good grades with the UFC because UFC is upset that you pulled out last minute before UFC 311 back in January. So I didn't like that Arman doing that. That bothered me. Like, bro, you should have just taken the Gamrot fight, beat him, avenge that loss, and then that way you really have super leverage to where you have to get a title fight. So I didn't like that at all. Then you got whole Paddy Pimblett. Paddy doesn't want to fight Arman Tsarukyan. Paddy Pimblett he's ranked number 9. Paddy basically doesn't want to fight Arman. He said you rather fight Justin Gaethje over Arman Tsarukyan, where he had the quote here where he talks about it. Where he says, "I fight anyone's, I'm not arsed." Patty said on one show, "Armin's a very good fighter, but no one cares about him." You know what I mean? I almost want to do the Patty Pimblett accent, but I don't know if I can talk entirely with his accent. You know what I mean? Latimus Gaza, don't get knocked out. I almost want to say it in that accent, but I'm not going to do that. Anyway, you know what I mean? People just look at him and think, yeah, you shit yourself fighting Islam. Talk a big game, but you didn't back it up. But everyone knows Justin Gaethje's a fucking banger. Everyone knows that if you're fighting Justin Gaethje, you're gonna have to fight. He's a legend. Arman isn't, so I love to fight another legend like Gaethje. The problem is Justin Gaethje doesn't want to fight Arman. He basically told ESPN Gaethje that if that's the route UFC wants me to take, then I don't believe they need me anymore. Basically, he's saying if he doesn't get a title fight, he's gonna retire. Gaethje wants a title fight. And that's another problem too. Justin Gaethje only wants to fight for the title. That he said he's going to retire if we don't give him a title fight. So you have that mess. I personally I like the idea of Pimblett fighting Gaethje. I think that should be the next matchup. I like that fight because I think that's a true title eliminator. The winner of that fight should get a title fight next. I think that makes sense. But Gaethje doesn't want to fight Paddy, and that's so annoying. That's such bullshit. It's like Gaethje, you have one victory. before you beat Fiziev, you got knocked out by Holloway. And he's trying to say it doesn't count. Was like, no, it counts. He was 155 Holloway when he knocked you out. You got knocked out. We saw in UFC 300. You're face down, flattened, getting brutally knocked out Holloway 1 second to go. Like, bro, stop it. No, that counts. You're on a 1 fight win streak. You beat Fiziev. Now Fiziev went out there and won his last fight back a month ago in Azerbaijan. So you have that old deal. So that victory does help Gaethje out, but still, 1 fight. Come on, Gaethje. I get you're a legend, but bro, he needs one more fight. Like this whole I'm gonna sit down wait for a title fight. It's just until they give me a title fight. It's so stupid. And part of it is the UFC's fault because they've given guys undeserved title fights as a one victory. They've done it a few times. So and Gaethje probably sees Kobe get a title fight, the one victory, and saying now gonging numerous title fights undeserved. There's other people, and Gaethje thinks I'm gonna do the same. But, I put on exciting fights, almost exciting fights in the UFC, and almost exciting fights in MMA history. So it's like if that's the case, then I should probably go out and I should be able to get a title fight with one victory. And it's just so annoying. And then Pimblett, since it's talking about Paddy Pimblett, Paddy basically I like him calling out Gaethje is smart call out, but at the same time, you should want to fight Arman Tsarukyan. Like if the UFC gives you that, you should take it. Like come on. He's the number one guy. This is a chance for you to solidify yourself getting a championship fight. You should be able to take it. Considering he's ranked 8 spots ahead of you. You're ranked number 9, dude. He's ranked number 1. You should be able to take that. You shouldn't turn down a fight against Arman Tsarukyan, especially that's going to be a title eliminator. The UFC makes it anyway. So why is he duck? That's just so stupid of Paddy Pimblett for not wanting to fight Arman Tsarukyan. It's just so ridiculous. That's just dumb on Paddy's part. And there's people saying Paddy and Ilia should fight next, and it's like, no, they should not fight next. Now, because there's the problem. Paddy Pimblett's ranked number 9. How the fuck are you going to justify Ilia and Paddy? I know they have the beef, they have the issues. I know Rogan won them octagon side, won Paddy in the cage so they can argue and shit, but it's like, bro, Paddy's ranked number 9, and you look at his last 3 opponents in the loss streak, they're 0-13 in terms of the losing streaks. Paddy beat Ferguson, Barry Green, and then Michael Chandler. And I think the combined records 0-13 for all 3 of those guys. Which, and people posted the meme and stuff. It's like Paddy Pimblett does not deserve a title fight, not at all. You gotta beat someone ranked, who's someone else who's ranked before getting a title fight. You can't just beat one ranked guy. Well, actually, beat 2 ranked guys, but the problem is they're all on losing streaks. You gotta be someone that's coming off a victory before you get a title fight. If you're Paddy Pimblett, no, Paddy Pimblett does not deserve a title fight. That's stupid and ridiculous, and I hate that idea. And then you have Dan Hooker, where Dan Hooker's got his own issues with the UFC. This is something that people have forgotten about because Dan Hooker is on a win streak. He hasn't fought in about a year. Yeah, it was August of last year he fought against Mateusz Gamrot, Dan Hooker, and he basically hasn't fought in a while. And Dan Hooker had this to say about Paddy Pimblett. I'm just showing this to understand the whole drama of the lightweight division. Dan Hooker basically doesn't want to fight Paddy Pimblett. He said, I think someone's shit, then I fight shit. Which is, I think what he's trying to say is that he's shit. He's basically shit. I don't want to fight shit. Basically, his quote. This is on Submission Radio. I think they're gonna do Max Oliveira and they're gonna do Gaethje for the title. Hooker told Submission Radio that leaves Arman in lurch. He's stuck fighting me, brother. He's gotta fight me to get back to the mix and get a title shot. That's always the fight I want, not because of prick and I hate him, but I forgot Arman Hooker. Everyone hates Arman. Ilia talks shit about him. Paddy talks shit about him. Hooker. It's like no one likes Arman. Something I'm just noticing. And and then like the article goes on. I didn't put what else he said, but the article goes on and says, "I don't think that guy is good. I don't think that can't speak. I don't think that the guy is that good." Hooker said, Pimblett. It brings out the best of me when I fight an actual good fighter. Like when they give me someone I think I can beat or I think someone's shit, then I fight shit. Oh, he's basically saying he fights like shit. I don't know why he said I fight shit instead of fighting like shit. And I don't know. Hooker's usual English language there. But anyway, like my mind subconsciously relaxes and I think they're shit, and then I do shit, and then they beat me. Well, if I guy I think could kick my ass, then my subconscious goes, "Oh shit, we might get our ass kicked." Then I wake up and I actually end up fighting really well. So I fight the best guy, so I actually perform well, which I get because the Dustin Poirier fight, it was an impressive fight. Like he had Poirier hurt at one point. It was an entertaining fight where he had Poirier in trouble, even though Poirier didn't win that fight. But there's also been fights where Hooker's, there's been fights like there's been Hooker's lost some fights where he got his ass whooped the entire fight. Like Edson Barboza beat the fuck out of him in late 2018. And you can't say Edson Barboza is shit. Edson Barboza was a top 10 contender for a long time in that lightweight division. And he famously destroyed Dan Hooker in that fight. But I get what he means though. Like he doesn't respect Paddy Pimblett, Dan Hooker. He thinks Paddy Pimblett ain't that good. And listen, there's still question marks about Paddy Pimblett. How he do against elite lightweights who are not old or washed up or losing streaks against good lightweights, against somebody who can exploit Paddy Pimblett's weaknesses of his striking, how his striking's still bad, particularly striking defense. The striking defense is not that good. And typically Dan Hooker is one of the best strikers in that weight class, and it makes you wonder how would Dan Hooker do against someone who has a terrible striking defense, and it's not washed up. Like Dan Hooker is still pretty good lightweight. So yeah, but yeah, Dan Hooker doesn't want to fight Paddy Pimblett. Dan Hooker wants to fight Arman Tsarukyan, which makes sense because Arman's ranked number 1. Dan Hooker's ranked number 6. So yeah, that ordeal. But unfortunately, right now we got this whole situation where Ilia doesn't want to fight Arman. He wants to give up the belt, then fight Arman Tsarukyan. Paddy doesn't want to fight Arman. He wants to fight Gaethje. Gaethje doesn't want to fight anybody but Ilia for the belt. Hooker doesn't want to fight Paddy. He wants Arman. Arman wants the belt. Doesn't want to fight anybody. Arman turned down Mateusz Gamrot, which is just so ridiculous and dumb. Let's Holloway just beat Dustin Poirier. Holloway's ranked in the lightweight division. They're probably gonna do Holloway Oliveira next, which does make sense if they do, because you can't do Holloway Topuria because Holloway just got knocked out by Topuria back in October. You cannot do that. I mean, I think Holloway should fight one. Arman, Paddy, Holloway against Paddy, Arman, Hooker, or is that? Oh, hang on. Yeah, Paddy, Hooker, Arman. Yeah, Holloway gets one of those guys. I think is a perfect fight. If they don't do the Charles Oliveira fight, although it looks like they're gonna do Charles and him because he wants to fight Charles. Really wants to fight him. Holloway's open to it. I think it's a good matchup. 10 years later, have those two fight each other. I seem like they're more likely gonna do that. So I kind of like that idea personally. But my thing is this: like these guys don't want to fight each other. It's causing such a conundrum in that lightweight division. It's a mess. So it's like, what do we do here? And my solution for this situation is this. I think what they should do is they should do Ilya and Arman. It's an excellent fight because here's the thing. Ilya is talking about Islam and we'll see what happens in the 170-pound. My problem is there's no guarantee Islam beats Jack Della Molina. There's zero guarantee. Jack Della Molina can easily beat Islam Makhachev. And what happens then? Like that fight's not as big as if Islam hadn't lost yet. Like really, Ilya and Islam after Islam loses to Jack Della Molina, like that fight doesn't have not as much interest as if Islam then Islam Ilya fighting where Islam hasn't lost to Jack Della Molina. So you have that whole issue. Then you I think what they should do is I think Ilya and Arman should be the fight to make personally because Arman is number 1 contender. He's actually made the championship weight. He proved he can do it. Now that's just my opinion, but I also understand. However, if you don't want to do it because you want to see Arman make weight and actually fight and win a fight and defend the spot, I totally get it. I understand. I'm also okay with Ilya. Nah. See, the thing is, I don't want Ilya to be out for too long because like Ilya took not much little damage in that fight against Charles Oliveira. It's like I would like to see Ilya fight in December. Like in December would be perfect. I think Armin's the best matchup. So I would get Ilya returning in December. You get him back. You have him. You have him fight him because my thing is this. It's like, damn, I don't want Ilya to. I don't want it be almost a year for Ilya to fight, especially when he's in his prime, no damage. You want to see Ilya fight as much as possible, especially since Ilya Topuria is talking about wanting to retire young and all that. So it's like, let's get as many fights as possible before the guy leaves. We don't want that. Him leaving while him fighting as many times as he could have, because then it would suck for us as MMA fans not seeing Ilya Topuria fight as often as he could have, not see him shine, because Ilia Topuria when he fights is fun to watch. I mean, this guy, he's truly become a legend, or leyenda, as they say in Spanish. This guy's gone out there, and the way he talks, is the way he fights. It's just like he is a special fighter. You want to see him be as more active as possible. I don't want we have to wait for a year before Ilya fights again, or 9 months. Nah. Especially he took no damage. Like we should try to get him fighting the end of the year. It's perfect time for him. That's why I don't like him saying what he said about Arman. It bothers me because it's like you can't justify him and Paddy. Paddy's ranked number 9, and no, Paddy Pimblett needs to prove he beat someone who's ranked, who's come off a victory. Well, when I mean come off a victory against another ranked opponent, because Bobby Green did come off a victory against Jim Miller before he lost to Paddy Pimblett in UFC 304, but still Jim Miller was not ranked at that time. He's a proof he can beat someone who's actually not older, who's not declining, who's actually come off victory against another ranked opponent. So you can't do Paddy and Ilya for that reason. I mean, if you don't want to do, because I don't see the UFC doing Holloway and Ilya. You can't do that. Holloway, yeah, just won his fight, but he just got knocked out less than a year ago by Ilya. We don't want to see that. Ilya just beat Charles. I'm trying to think who else. Who else in the lightweight division? I'm trying to think. Yeah, Gaethje, nah. I'm sorry. I know Gaethje should not be getting title for after one victory, after he got knocked out brutally by Holloway back at UFC 300. Gaethje needs one more fight. And the whole I'm gonna retire and all everything he said just so stupid. So dumb. But just so dumb with Gaethje. Yeah. It's just annoying as MMA fans seeing all this, then see these lightweights fight because it'd be better because I want to see fun matchups. Like I like to see Patty and Hilka fight would be awesome, or Patty Arman that'd be amazing, and Patty Gaethje the ideal matchup that'd be amazing because you know what? Here's what I would do: Gaethje and Patty. If Gaethje doesn't want to do it, then fine. Just let Gaethje retire and move on. Then you could do either Patty Holloway, Patty Oliveira, or Patty and Hooker. And if Hoka doesn't want to do it, then just like we'll just move on from Hoka, or penalize him by giving someone lower rank to punish him, or or you can do Dan Hooker and Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway against any of these guys works out. I mean, it doesn't have to be Max Charles, but sorry, I'm just thinking about this real time. That's why I sound like I'm all over the place. But here's what you should do. Like I said, Patty versus Gaethje is the ideal matchup. Gaethje doesn't want to fight. Doesn't want to fight Patty, or doesn't want to fight freaking Arman. Just let Gaethje retire, move on. UFC can carry on while Gaethje. Gaethje's put on some very entertaining fights, one of the most entertaining fights in UFC history. But this whole entitlement thing is just so fucking annoying. Like I said, I'll do like Patty, either Patty Gaethje or Patty Holloway or Patty Arman. And if if Arman doesn't want to, fight, then you just penalize Arman by getting him someone ranked lower. Because to me, if you want to see Arman make weight and actually fight and earn and keep his spot because he hasn't fought in a while, and you want to see him be able to prove he can make weight when he's actually fighting, not being his backup, then have Arman and Hooker, or Arman Holloway, or Arman Patty, where hey, you win your guaranteed title fight no matter what. Just do that. That's what it should be. If you're not gonna do Arman Ilya, because I didn't want my number so my number one choice is Arman Ilya. That's my number one choice for the title fight. My number one choice would be Patty and Gaethje, and then you do Hooker and Holloway, or Hooker and Charles. You do one of those matchups, in my opinion. That's my primary. So my ideal world or number one choice is. Let me repeat myself one more time: Ilya Arman, Paddy Gaethje, Hooker against either Charles or Holloway. That would be my ideal matchups. But like I said, you want Armin to defend his spot and prove he can make weight when he's actually scheduled to fight and actually win a fight. Then do Armin Holloway or Armin and Patty or Armin Hooker or Armin and Patty. That's my ideal. The UFC should do one of those things. And like I said, or have Gaethje fight Armin or Patty or Hooker. Because remember, Gaethje and Hooker were supposed to fight early in the year, but Hooker pulled out due to hand injury. Schedule Gaethje on one of those fights and try and let him know, hey man, if you're not gonna do it, we'll just let you retire. That's what the UFC should do. Everything that's what if I was charged of UFC, I would do, and that's what I hope the UFC does. Because this lightweight situation is just a mess. It is just ugh. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the lightweight situation. I want to talk about it because it's been a big talk in the MMA community. Well, yeah, it's been a talk in the MMA community. Yeah, it has been. So I know there's other things like the UFC 320, 321 announcements, the Olberg versus Reyes fight being announced for Australia has also been big talk, etc. But this has also been a big talk. It's the lightweight division, the whole like mess and drama. But yeah, so that's my thoughts about it and why I want to happen and what I would try to make if I had a chance to. Obviously, Ilya Armin, Gaethje, Paddy, and then of course Hooker versus Holloway or Charles. But yeah, that's what I would do if I had, or try to push for. And if like I said, if you don't want to do Armin Ilya, then do Armin against Pimblett, Gaethje, Holloway, or Hooker. But yeah, but I just don't want Ilya to wait too long. We don't need wait 9 months to see Ilia Topuria fight when he took low damage. Like we to see him fight. I just don't like Ilya what he said about Armin. That's just I didn't like that. I understand where he's somewhat coming from, but still, it's just nah. I just doesn't sound right, and that's sad because I like Ilia Topuria. I really do. Exciting fighter, good for UFC, good for MMA in general. But yeah, that's just anyway. I didn't like it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and listening. Let me know what you guys thoughts on the whole situation and what do you want to see? What would you hope will happen and why? Let me know in the comment section. Look forward to hearing you guys' thoughts. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night and stay safe. God bless and peace.